In 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello Pokemon trainers, and welcome to another episode of Battle Tower here on iStarlyTV. This is actually an OU match I have for you today from the Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Finder, so it's the first Wi-Fi match I'm uploading to this channel, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. My other battles have all been from Pokemon Showdown. Anyway, looking at his team, he has somewhat of a sand team going on, and I have somewhat of a rain team. So I'm definitely going to want to keep my Politoed alive and kill his Hippowdon as fast as I can so I can keep my weather up. But I do decide to lead with my Mew just in case he leads with his Hippowdon, because Mew has Taunt and Toxic and Stealth Rock, which are all great moves against Hippowdon. He actually leads with his Latios. I'm going to be very bold here and just stay in and go for the Stealth Rock, thinking I can take any hit, and I do take a Life Orb Draco Meteor pretty well. Or not well, but I do take it. I don't die to that. But now at this point, I'm not going to leave my Mew in because it will die. I'm just going to go into my Gastrodon here because I know I can take a -2 Draco. And he's going to go for it, so I take it really well. And now I'm just going to predict his switch. I honestly don't remember what I was predicting, but I did go for the Earth Power right here. And he brings in his Skarmory, which I guess is a reasonable play. Just because obviously Skarmory won't be taking anything from that Earthquake. But at this point, I'm going to predict him to start setting up his entry hazards, and I don't want those on the field because I do have a lot of things that are susceptible to Stealth Rock and Spikes especially. So I want my switch-ins to be as healthy as possible. So I'm going to switch into Starmie just so I can threaten him with the Rapid Spin, or not threaten him, but I can go for the Rapid Spin when I need to. And he's actually going to switch out here. I do go for the Scald, just hoping to get the burn on the Skarmory, but he's going to make a good move and go into Amoonguss here. But luckily for me, I actually do get the burn here on this Amoonguss. And because Amoonguss is a poison type, that means you can't poison it with Toxic, so Burn is pretty much the next best status you can get on Amoonguss as residual damage, because Amoonguss is just so bulky. And here he's going to stay in. I guess he didn't expect me to have the Psyshock and he thought he could take an Ice Beam. I actually don't have Ice Beam. But as you can see, because Amoonguss is super bulky and because I don't have any investment in my Starmie, that Psyshock is not going to kill his Amoonguss. And he's going to put me to sleep with the Spore. That's another reason I stayed in with Starmie here, is because I wanted it as sleep fodder, because it does also have natural cure. And now I just decided to go out into my Latios, figuring that, he would probably switch. I thought he was going to switch out there to get the Regenerator on his Amoonguss, but he actually doesn't. He actually values predicting he makes a good prediction there and goes for the Thunder Wave, I guess assuming that I would go into Latios or anything else for that matter. So that was a good play on his part, but it does cost him his Amoonguss. But at the same time, I think that's a good trade-off for him because he lost his Amoonguss, but I essentially lost my Latios because I'm not going to want to use my Latios when it's paralyzed. It's not going to be nearly as effective as it could be otherwise. So at this point, I'm just going to sack it to his Latios' Draco Meteor just so I can get a free switch and kind of threaten him out efficiently. And that's what I'm going to do, is go into Starmie. I am running a bulky spread with max HP and I think max speed. So I know I can take a -2 Draco very, very easily. And I'm going to predict his switch here, just go for the Rapid Spin as he brings in his own Starmie. And at this point, I figured, Starmie often runs Thunderbolt and like Hydro Pump or Surf and Ice Beam, and I figured my specially defensive Gastrodon can easily take just any of those moves. And I make a good prediction there because he does go for Thunderbolt, but unfortunately for me here, he is actually going to go for the Rapid Spin, removing my Stealth Rock. So I'm going to want to get those up again as soon as possible, just so I can, threaten his Latios as it comes in, because his Latios is really threatening to my team. I don't really have too many things that want to take that want to take a Life Orb Draco Meteor. So, I mean, Gastrodon can probably take one, but not well. So I have to be wary of that. But anyways, he's going to go for Ice Beam here. I do go for the Toxic just to kind of force him out, and to rack up some damage each turn so that he's so he kind of doesn't want to stay in. But he actually gets a freeze on Ice Beam, and luckily for me, I think Scald automatically unfreezes you. I could be wrong, but I do get the unfreeze there, so that's going to be very good. And he's just taking a lot of damage each turn, both from Life Orb and from the Toxic. So he goes for Ice Beam again, he gets a crit, which is really annoying, but he's essentially dead to the Toxic damage this turn. I do go for Recover, knowing I can take a hit. I didn't expect that critical hit, but at the same time, Recover was just a good move for me to go for Gastrodon, just so I can get as close to full health as possible in case he does want to bring in that Latios, because again, really nothing can switch into that. So I'm going to have to bank on my Gastrodon taking hits from it. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to bring it in after his Starmie dies to the Toxic damage. He is going to go for that powerful Draco Meteor. And as you can see, it does a lot of damage, and I almost died there. I honestly don't know the calcs for that, but here I just go for Toxic. I don't know if that was the best play, but I mean, at the same time, getting residual damage on his Latios is ideal for me rather than keeping my Gastrodon alive, because at this point, you know, he's at -2, so I figured Politoed can take a -2 Draco Meteor because I am a bulky Politoed. But otherwise, you know, almost nothing can take a Draco Meteor when his Latios has max special attack, or when it's not at -2. Sorry, I'm stuttering there, but anyways, he's gonna decide to switch out because he doesn't want to die to the poison. He wants to get in one or two last hits of Draco Meteor, and I'm just gonna protect just to, you know, rack up the poison damage on his Latios. And at this point, he sends in his Skarmory, and I figured, you know, this is a fine matchup for me. I really don't mind. You know, Politoed in the rain means Scald is boosted, and Skarmory doesn't have the best special defense. And if I can get a burn on that thing, that's just perfect. So I do decide to stay in, just go for the Scald. It does about, I don't know, 30%, 40-ish%, and he does get burned luckily. So I'm very happy for that, because Skarmory is another thing that would just be very annoying to take on, because I don't really have too many moves that will hit it super effectively. So I'm going to want to get as much residual damage on it as possible. So that's really good for me that I was able to burn it. And now at this point, I know there's really not too much he can do. I'm just going to keep spamming Scald. He could Roost, but he's actually not roosting. He's actually opting to set up as many layers of spikes as he can. And he is racking up that burn damage. So what that means is at this point, he will die to the burn. And here I make a switch into my Starmie. He does make a good move there and predict that and go for the Whirlwind. So that was a very good move on his part. But he does Whirlwind me into Mew, which is actually really... Oh no, it dies to spikes. Sorry, I was going to say that's really good for me because I can get at my rocks. Sorry, I don't remember exactly what happened in this battle, because I had it like last weekend, I think. But anyways, so now I'm going to go into my Starmie, and at this point I'm free to go for the Rapid Spin. I think I will kill his Skarmory. No, I will not. But the burn will kill his Skarmory, which is what matters. But he is actually just going to opt to go for Roost, which is a good play on his part. But with the burn damage, that will bring him below 50%. And that means that I should be able to do a lot of damage with Scald. Again, I do not run Thunderbolt on this Starmie, or even Thunder for that matter. So the best thing I have to hit his Skarmory is actually going to be Scald. But I'm just going to keep spamming it. I am in rain, so it's going to do a lot. And at this point, he doesn't really have anything that can switch into a rain-boosted Scald. If he switches in his Hippowdon, there will not be rain anymore. It'll be in sand. But Hippowdon still cannot take a Scald from a Starmie anyway. So yeah, that's just gonna be, this is kind of like a stally war right here. He's just spamming Roost, I'm just spamming Scald, hoping, I don't know, for crit or just to stall him out of turns. And that one actually does quite a decent number of damage on him. But now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get the leftovers recovery. He's gonna get up a layer of spikes, which at this point in the match, like I said, you know, he has a lot of kind of weaker threats down. My team has done its job of kind of weakening his team to the point where, you know, I can just wear them out at this point. So I'm going to kill off his Skarmory with the Scald, which is really good for me. And now he's going to go into his Latios one last time, but because, well, I don't have rocks up, sorry. He's at such low health that I'm just going to sack my Gastrodon here so I can bring my Starmie back out and take a -2 Draco Meteor. And, you know, that's totally fine with me because he will be taking Life Orb damage and Poison damage. So that might actually kill his Latios, but regardless, his Latios is essentially dead anyway because Starmie's faster than it regardless. So, you know, that's one huge threat finally down. This was the most threatening thing to my team, and to finally get it out of the way is actually really good. I'm actually going to go for the Rapid Spin kill, and I do kill it. I figured, you know, even if it doesn't kill, it's still dying anyway, and I won't take too much damage, and I'm fast. Starmie's very fast, so I could just recover it off. But anyways, he is actually finally going to go into his Hippowdon to bring up the sand. At this point, I think he only has Hippowdon and Nidoking left, both of which really die to Starmie, so things are looking good in my favor at this point. I'm just going to go for the Scald. As you can see, it does well more than half, and that's not even rain boosted, and again, I have no investment in my Starmie, so he's probably more of a physically bulky Hippowdon. I've actually run max HP, max special defense, careful Hippowdon, and it does really well, surprisingly. But that's besides the point, so I'm just going to kill him off with the second Scald, and at this point, you know, I can just get up the rain if I want to, or I can just pretty much kill his Nidoking, which he hasn't brought out the entire match, but that's because it really doesn't hang in OU. Nidoking doesn't really do a super good job. in OU. I just decided to go for the Psyshock. Psyshock or Scald would have probably done around the same to him anyway. And I think Nidoking's defense is a little bit lower than its special defense. I could be wrong. But regardless, you know, I'm going to be able to bring in my Dragonite, who I've not brought in all match. And I'm going to be able to come off with an Extreme Speed, a Choice Banded Extreme Speed. So that's going to be my game. It was a really good match. I mean, I had fun with it. I don't often play too much Wi-Fi anymore just because I only play Wi-Fi when I'm at home at my parents' house because their Wi-Fi is good. But when I'm here at school, which is where I'm at right now, the Wi-Fi here is kind of sucks. It doesn't allow me to connect my DS, so that's why I usually do more showdown battles than anything else, because showdown battles are just so easy to get and they're so easy to record and save, and you know, it doesn't go through the hassle of having to connect to Wi-Fi and get someone's friend code and all that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this match. It was my first Wi-Fi attempt on this channel. Probably wasn't the best match you've ever seen, but you know, if you enjoyed it, please let me know. Please let me know if you'd like to see more Wi-Fi matches, and let me know excuse me, let me know if you prefer Wi-Fi or Showdown, or if you just really don't mind as long as you see a battle. Do you like, you know, because I know Wi-Fi battles kind of look better, but Showdown battles, like I said, are just so much easier to get, and I feel like the quality on Pokemon Showdown is a lot better than on Wi-Fi, but that could just be me. I mean, the quality of players. So I'd say that I get better battles on Showdown than I do on Wi-Fi, but that could just be an assumption. Anyways, just let me know what you think. Do you prefer online? Do you prefer Showdown? Did you enjoy this battle at all? What tier do you prefer? Do you like OU? Do you like UU? Do you like Little Cup? Yeah, just let me know. You know, leave a comment. Please follow our Tumblr, our Pokemon Palace blog, and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I'll put all those links in the description so you can visit them at your convenience. And just thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Bye.